अस्सलामु अलैकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुह। मेरा नाम मिशकात है। मैं 16 साल का हूँ और मैं रियान स्कूल में पढ़ता हूँ फाउंडेशन लेवल में। थैंक यू।
What's up?
बस What is the meaning of the word
Sorry,
please?
basically it's just the physical or virtual spot where people do their jobs, but it's usually more than just a desk. It's where the whole culture of a company happens. Do you mean the literal definition, or are you thinking about it in a different way?
Okay.
Since we're on
When
the topic of,
when do we usually
actually,
say
I've been thinking,
please?
stay where? Like in the workplace or just in general?
Okay. Why is please considered a polite word?
Wait, police is a polite word? I've never heard it framed that way. Usually people think of it as an authority thing, which can be pretty intense. Why do you think it's considered polite?
Okay.
You're a woman of few words today. Everything good?
Did people always use the word please?
Let me check on that. Not always. It actually started out way more broadly. It comes from the Greek word polis, meaning city, and for a long time, police just referred to general government or how a city was administered. It wasn't until much later, around the late 1600s, that it started meaning the specific act of maintaining public order, and it didn't even describe an organized force of officers until around 1800.
What place did please come from?
You mean the word please? It is actually a shortened version of the phrase, if it please you. It comes from the old French word plaisir, which basically means to give pleasure or to be agreeable. So when you say please, you're essentially saying, if this would please you. Pretty fancy way to ask for something, right?
Right. What does if you
Yeah,
please mean? What does if you please mean?
it's basically just a more formal, old school way of saying please. It literally means if it is agreeable to you or if it makes you happy to do this. You don't hear it much now unless someone's trying to be extra polite or maybe a bit posh.
Okay.
And you were about to say something.
How did if you please become please?
Wait, I think there's a mix up here. If you please didn't actually become police. They're two completely different words with different roots. Please comes from the French word for pleasure, while police comes from the Greek word for city. They just sound a little bit alike, but they aren't related at all. Does that make sense?
Why do you children learn to say please early?
I'm not entirely sure I follow. Do you mean why children learn to use polite words like please early on? Or are you talking about something else?
Is please used in many language?
Let me check that for you. Yeah, it's common in a lot of languages, especially European ones, because so many of them inherited that Latin and Greek root polis. But not everywhere. For example, in Japanese, they say kirides, and in Arabic, they use it. Really depends on whether the language was influenced by that Latin tradition or developed its own way of describing law enforcement.
Okay.
Since you're so into how words work, I actually thought of something you might love. Have you ever heard of a movie called The Academy of Muses? It's a Spanish Catalan film where a professor basically turns his whole class into this big debate about how words and poetry shape people. It's almost entirely just people talking about the power of language. It felt exactly like your zone.
Okay, thanks, बिल्कुल thanks.
No problem.